SkyRush at Hershey Park is an Intamin hypercoaster. And guys, let me just tell you, this is one fantastic ride. It's not a perfect ride, but it is fantastic. It probably has some of the strongest airtime ever. As I said before, this is located at Hershey Park. This is in Hershey, Pennsylvania. And it's in a pretty good location. And this is a park built on chocolate. It's a really cool park. And this is my favorite coaster in Hershey Park. I'm just going to say it right now. It is probably the best coaster lineup in the world. Yes, the best coaster lineup in the world. Better than Cedar Point. And this ride's probably the best coaster there. A little bit better than Canobie. So in this video, I am going to be breaking the ride down, talking about the flaws and what's great about this ride. So let's get into it. So the first flaw that I'm just going to get out of the way, that everybody knows about, thigh crush. Your thighs will get crushed. My first experience, I was back row, I think, and from the second I hit that first turn, I had my hands up, the bar completely shattered my thighs, and the airtime hills were so painful. SkyRush is really a ride that you just have to get used to. By like my 7th ride, I was like used to the restraint, so I'm like, it doesn't really matter anymore. But what I recommend is hold the restraint up. And when I say hold it, don't hold it from like the front with the handlebars. Hold it up from the side. And then you can put more strength into it. Then you can really appreciate this ride. And it's a fantastic ride when you finally can. I know a lot of people don't like this ride. A lot of people love it. I have a friend that absolutely loves this thing. But for me, I'm kind of in the middle. I can get a thigh crush or I can get a SkyRush. Some rides, like my first ride, was completely thigh crush and my thighs were completely being crushed. But my next ride was better and kept on getting better. The ride-ups that I experienced did staple a little bit, so I had to kind of like push up my knees and then like push up my stomach. So that was kind of annoying, but it's fine, I guess. So now let me get into what makes this ride so good. It's not a very long ride, but it doesn't need to be long. It has the strongest airtime in the world. This is not better than I-305. Not in airtime, yes, but not in intensity. People say that this is the intensity of I-305. It doesn't. It doesn't have that intensity. But it has the airtime. But something very unique about this coaster is that it has winged outer seats. I rode this on my first ride and a couple other rides, and it's probably the most intense seat, especially in the back row, but it hurts the most. Your thighs will get killed. Personally, I don't like these seats just because they crush my thighs too much, and I can't take all the thigh crush, but the inside seats, where it's a little less intense, I can still enjoy the ride very much. But the airtime, it will kill your thighs if they're crushed. It will destroy them. It will literally take the tissue away from you. So, with that being said, let's break this ride down. So, you're going to enter this queue line. It's kind of, when I went, they opened up like the other side. I think it's always like that. You don't actually enter under the sign. It doesn't really make sense. So you go around the side, you enter in the queue, and you can choose front row or you can choose any other row. Front row, you have to go up a staircase and it makes no sense and it's just bad. So don't go front row. I got front row once, which was early in the morning when there's nobody online. So I was really lucky there. But on normal days, well, I had a preview because of my hotel. You get in an hour early if you stay on site. So I do recommend staying on site. But because of the preview, I was able to get front row. If you don't have a preview, probably don't do front row. Back is really where this ride's at. So you get in, and I'd recommend back row. Back inside seats is the best seat. Back wing seat is the most intense seat, but back inside seat is the best seat for me because my thighs won't get crushed on that. But if it doesn't crush your thighs, go back wing seat. Either one's good. I probably recommend back wing seat right side just because you're closer to the water on a couple more of those bank turns, which is kind of cool. But yeah, so you get into the station, you choose back row, and you're going to notice that you board and unload on the same side. That's because Comet is right on the other side. They literally built this ride right on top of Comet, so that's actually really cool. So you board the train, you put down your restraints, which do you really wish for like B&M clamshells? Like, it would be fantastic if these were B&M clamshells. The airtime you would get would be insane. But with that being said, it's not B&M clamshell, so nothing you can do about there. So you start going up your cable lift till it gets you up there at a ridiculously fast pace. And this drop, in like any other row, it's not that good, but in the back, it's insane. You get like whipped. You get completely whipped over this drop. The airtime is great on this drop. I absolutely love it. This is only if you're sitting in the back, though. So about halfway down this drop, right where it starts to even out, that's where you're going to experience thigh crush. This is like the main moment for me. I always have to hold the restraint up here. There's 3 moments I have to do this in, and this is the first one. Your thighs will get crushed, and if they get crushed here, this ride is going to suck for you. I'm just going to flat out say it. This ride will suck if your thighs get crushed really badly. So you go into your first airtime hill, which is absolutely insane. It has stronger airtime than Toro. It is stronger airtime than anything I've ridden. And I've ridden 142 coasters and some rides with some fantastic airtime. I haven't ridden Steel Vengeance, but I've ridden some good RMCs out there, great airtime, like Wicked Cyclone and Twisted Timbers. But this ride has the strongest airtime at any coaster ever. It is so strong. But with that being said, if your thighs are crushed, this will kill them. It will hurt so bad if your thighs are crushed. It will suck. So, and like, people don't underestimate this. They will be killing you. If your thighs are crushed at this moment, it will be so painful. But with that being said, you go through this airtime hill, you bank the left into a left turn. Second moment where I have to hold the restraint up or it's going to come down too much. So I definitely recommend it here. So this is pretty good intense. You're not like I-305 or anything. It's not super intense. Like, I didn't gray out on it, which I was kind of expecting to do because now, because of the mask and I'm so dehydrated in amusement parks, I always expect to gray out just because the mask. It actually really helps with gray outs. I've been graying out a lot more now. But you don't gray out or anything like that, which was kind of strange because I thought I would. But I guess not. So you pull out of the turn where you have to hold the restraint up, and then you can have your hands up for the second airtime hill. It's so strong that it can't physically stop. It can't physically go down on your thighs anymore. So you go through that, and it's pretty much the same as the first one, maybe even stronger than the first airtime hill, but it is really, really good. I really love this moment. And then you pull out into a right turn. Also, this airtime hill is right under the first one, so that's kind of like a good head chopper. But you pull out into another turn, and this is the last moment where I have to hold the restraint up, or your thighs will get crushed. The right turn leads into a wave turn. Personally, I don't have to actually hold the restraint up, which is nice. And you're traveling like really fast at this point. And then you pull into a right turn, into an I-305 transition. This is more like, this is probably the most intense part of the ride right here. It's really good. It gives a quick pop of air, very whippy. I really like it. and then you go into your last airtime hill. Your thighs, 50-50, they'll be crushed at this point. If they're crushed, this is going to suck. It's not going to be fun, and you're just going to want the ride over. If it's good, if you're good, then it'll be really good, because this is a really strong moment of airtime too. So then you pull out of that, and you bank to the left, and pretty much into your brake run. It's a very short ride. That's not the final brake run, though. You drop down into your final brake run, and usually the ride-ups let the restraint up a little bit, so you're not sitting on that brake run for like 10 minutes waiting with your thighs dying. But every single ride I got, when I hit the brake run, my thighs are pretty crushed. But luckily, they give me that little give, so it's fine after that. But it's not as bad as some people say, but it's not good. Like, personally, I think I-305 does a little thigh crush in there. It does actually crush your thighs, I-305. I've always thought those Intamin restraints crush your thighs a little bit. But that's just me personally. But SkyRush is an absolutely amazing ride. It is a little short. It's not perfect. There's 5 coasters I like more than this I've ridden. It's the best coaster in Hershey Park. Hershey Park probably has the best coaster lineup in the world. And if you haven't ridden this yet, you need to go ride it. Because chances are, if you didn't ride this, you didn't ride Canobie. So you're missing out on a lot at Hershey Park. So for SkyRush's final score, I'm going to give it a 9.5. I'm subtracting 0.5 points for the awful restraints, because whoever designed those deserves to be fired. Why? But it's still an amazing ride. When you look past all the flaws with the restraints, it's still one fantastic ride. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.